Welcome to the Church of Animaniacs. Shall we all gather out the room? Hey, hi you guys. Nice to see you.
Hey.
This is Vader, what, Vader Girl? This is Vader Girl, and Vader Girl is going to sign for anybody here who's hearing impaired. Well, actually, I am, but I can't watch you. I have about a 50% hearing loss in my right ear from being in rock and roll bands when I was very young. Clearly not the smartest thing to do. So thank you very much for coming, Vader Girl. But she was so sweet because she said to me yesterday, I wonder how many, you know, honestly, how many hearing impaired people are there that are going to want to come and hear a guy who makes a living as a voice actor? You know, and apparently you got a couple of emails, right? That's so cool. Asking about me. So I was like, okay, we can see the guy that does Raphael. I can't hear him, can't understand him, but he seems like a nice enough guy. Anyway, I have to be completely honest. First of all, I'm having such a great time. Many of you have been to a couple of panels already, and I'm so glad you're here again, because it clearly means that A, you either are gluttons for punishment, B, you have nothing else to do, or C, you actually enjoy what you're hearing, which is hopefully the case. When I got here, or a couple days ago, when I kind of got the breakdown of what I was going to do, they said, oh, you're doing this sing-along on Saturday. And I said, well, what does that mean? Does that mean that everybody gets a little packet of songs and we all sing? They said, no, you just go up there and sing along with yourself. So what I could do, actually the timing at first, hello, sweetie, the timing actually is pretty good. Because as I mentioned to several of you yesterday, and for those of you who weren't here, I'll go ahead and tell you again. What we're talking about music-wise, primarily I think, is Animaniacs, because that's, you know, was such a song-heavy, great show. And there are a lot of fantastic songs from that. And as a matter of fact, myself and Randy Rogel, who wrote the majority of those songs, most of the ones you'll hear today, and I are doing a show with the Colorado Symphony Orchestra 3 weeks from yesterday. So we're going to be doing an evening of Animaniacs music with an 80-piece orchestra. Giant screen with the cartoons. So the orchestra, the conductor will have a click track, so all of the audio will have been stripped off the cartoon, right? So all you're going to see on the screen is the cartoon, but everything audio will be actors and music, live music. So it's pretty cool. So technically, it's kind of a neat thing. You guys would be interested to hear this. When a show is scored in the traditional sense, like Animaniacs was, there might be a 40-piece orchestra in a room, maybe about twice as big as this one, the scoring stage. And every musician has a headset in which they'll hear, you know, like a metronome. Whatever the tempo is going to be of the song, you know, like United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, right? United, blah, 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 I'm gonna hit myself in the head with a shoe, you know, all that stuff. But that's all they're hearing, because they're playing to what's on the screen. So obviously, if you're off a tiny little bit, it won't match the lip flaps of the characters. So it's very technical. Well, now we do it live. The only person with a click track is the conductor, because we're talking about 80 pieces. So the conductor hears in his head, he hears 1, 2, 3, and then he starts the band. But they have to be right on the meter, and then I follow what the band is doing, and then hopefully it all matches up on the screen. The outcome is fantastic. It's so entertaining. And when you hear those songs with 80 pieces, man, it'll curl your hair. It's the coolest. Well, you must have heard it because your hair is cool. But it's really, really fabulous. So hopefully, and the reason I say that is because the music is really in the forefront of my mind, because we've been working on it for a long time now again, revisiting these songs. And the new orchestrations are 20 years better. The people who did all that work are 20 years more talented now, so there are a lot of really cool flourishes. Hopefully, we'll get it up on its feet and we can bring it to Motown and every place else, because I believe there's a really big audience for it. I think when people find out, I know that when they find out who I am, they get a big kick out of it. I'm the only one that gets a bigger kick out of it. It's so much fun for me to, you know, I'm a golf nut, and inevitably the question comes around about, so what do you do for a living? Cartoons. Anything out here? Yeah, if you've had a TV for the last 30 years, probably, yeah. Did you ever watch Pinky and the Brain? Yeah, I love Pinky and the Brain. Oh, well, I'm Pinky. I'm gonna putt, so get out of my line, you idiot. You know? Dude, I'm playing golf with Pinky! That happens all the time. So, that's pretty cool. Anyway, so what I think I will do is, I actually happen to have, and it even says, I even have my Randy and Rob songbook with all my notes because I've been working on the music. So the timing is pretty good for this. Would you guys, and I would love for you to sing along to the extent you can. Do you guys know a lot of Animaniacs songs?
Yeah.
Yes. That's great. Okay, so let's see. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to do, you guys know Yakko's Universe?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll start singing it, and it's going to be all a cappella, which means we ain't got the bucks for music. So we're going to do it a cappella, and if you know the words, sing along, okay? And I'll try to pick, it doesn't really matter the key, does it? There are only 8 notes. How hard can it be, right? Okay, so it goes like this. Everybody lives on a street, in a city, or a village, or a town for what it's worth. And we're all inside a country which is part of a continent that sits upon a planet known as Earth. And the Earth is a ball full of oceans and some mountains which is out there spinning silently in space. And living on that Earth are the plants and the animals and also the entire human race. Everybody, it's a great big universe and we're all really puny. We're just tiny little specks about the size of Mickey Rooney. It's big and black and inky and we are small and dinky. It's a big universe and we're not. And we're part of a vast interplanetary system stretching 700 billion miles long. With 9 planets and a sun, we think the Earth's the only one that has life in it, although we could be wrong. Across the interstellar voids are a billion asteroids, including meteors and Halley's Comet too. And there's only 50 moons floating out there like balloons in a panoramic trillion-mile view. And still it's all a speck amid 100 billion stars in a galaxy we call the Milky Way. It's 50,000 trillion miles from one end to the other, and still that's just a fraction of the way. 'Cause there's 100 billion galaxies that stretch across the sky, filled with constellations, planets, moons, and stars. And still the universe extends to a place that never ends, which is maybe just inside a little jar. Well, it's a great big universe, and we're all really puny. We're just tiny little specks about the size of Mickey Rooney. Though we don't know how we got here, we all mean a lot here. It's a big universe, and it's ours. Thank you. Good for you. You guys came. It was so exciting when you came in on the chorus. There's a really interesting little story about that song. At the end of that song, Randy Rogel, when he wrote it, had an alternate ending, and I'll see if I can remember it, which on which the kibosh was put. How's that for appropriate English? So his original ending went like this. It goes, it's a great big universe, and everyone's a part of it, and no one knows just where's the end of start of it. Where's the end or start of it? We all live here together. It's our home forever. It's a small world out there. And you can understand why Mr. Spielberg heard the, he says, no. I mean, someday I'm going to be in business with Jeff Katzenberg. We're going to cut the, So that was the end of that. Then we did, let's see, I'm trying to think of a really fun little song. We did the, oh, I know. There's a great song that Randy wrote that we often open our show with, in which we say, hey, it's great to be here in Dearborn, and hey, Randy, did you read the trade papers when we left Hollywood? Yeah, it says Rogel and Paulsen to ankle to Motown to give big shindig at Doubletree, whatever, and it was just a cryptic headline because it was a headline taken from a Hollywood newspaper like Variety, and it's very often you find that the headlines in the Variety newspaper are very difficult for civilians to understand. They're all sort of in showbiz code. So Randy wrote a song about it. It goes like this. It goes, in Hollywood they have a different language that they speak. It's used by all those folks who went to school for just 1 week. It's found inside Variety, a magazine they use, and no one understands it when they read the movie news. Like, Hicks makes pick, but the flick needs fix, means someone made a movie that bombed. The peeps in charge are now at large, means everyone involved is gone. The plot conflicts, no beautiful chicks, so it's coming out on video soon. They're taking their licks cause the critics say nix, and the editors are gonna try to save it in the mix, but the stock sees green on page 13 means Disney's up a nickel a share. Stallone cuts deal for a major reel, means Rocky number 6, so beware. If you want the poop or you need the scoop on Hollywood Town this week, you're gonna have to learn to talk that variety speak. Ba-ba-doo-bop, ba-ba-doo-bow, ba-ba-doo-bop, ba-ba-doo-bow. Boppo smash makes Warner cash, means they're gonna be a sequel next year. But Paramount hurts and they're losing their shirts, means Schwarzenegger's doing King Lear. Oliver Stone does next Home Alone, means he's getting paid an arm and a leg. The budget goes crunch, but his name packs punch, so they call up the accountants and they're gonna do lunch. Well, the ratings smile on the OJ trial, means a movie of the week to premiere. Universal cuts deal with Mr. Spiel to do 100,000 movies a year. You gotta play it smart if you wanna be part of the crowd that's hip and chic. You're gonna have to learn to talk that variety speak. Ba-ba-doo-bop, ba-ba-doo-bow, ba-ba-doo-bop, ba-ba-doo-bow. Normal talk makes producers walk. You might as well speak Greek. You're gonna have to learn or the meeting will adjourn. Unless, my friends, you learn that variety speak. Ba-ba-doo-bop, the ba-ba-doo-bow, ba-ba-doo-bop, the ba-ba-doo-bow, bop-doo-bop-doo-bop-doo-ba-da. Thank you. Thank you. And then Randy wrote a song that I think I sang part of it the other day, but I'm going to sing it again. It's such a great song. One of the things that happens often when you've got a guy like Randy Rogel who is on staff as a songwriter, as the producer, when you're doing a show like Animaniacs, that's, I wouldn't say music-driven, but certainly music was a huge part of it. Often what he'll do is he'll get a call from the producer. In this case, it'd be Tom Ruger, who is the genius behind Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, Batman, Superman, Tiny Toons, crazy, okay. So Tom will say, hey man, we're gonna do a song about, you know, we're trying to be educational without being educational, you know, so we can still be entertaining. So let's do a song about the concept of time, which is a very, kind of an odd thing to, you know, I still don't quite understand it. I spent a couple of weeks in Australia this year, and you know, there's generally, when you cross the international date line, you know, going toward Australia, you lose a day, right? But in Australia, there are several different time zones, but one of them is on the half hour. So if you're, you know, 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours ahead, like today it's what, Saturday afternoon, it's Sunday night there, I think now. But if you're in, oh, I forgot which city I was in, but if you're in Adelaide, the difference is on the half hour. So you're only 10.5 hours ahead, as opposed to 11 hours or 10 hours. It's very bizarre. I don't know who the hell makes that stuff up. I don't know who chooses that. But so Randy's job was to write a song that's entertaining, maybe a little educational, and fun about the concept of time, right? So he wrote a song like this. It goes, when you're traveling from Nantucket through Chicago to St. Paul, and you're standing in an airport and you look up on the wall, there's a clock for every city and a different time for all, from Asia through Malaysia to Peru. Did you ever wonder why that when it's 6 o'clock in Maine, at precisely the same minute, it is 8 a.m. in Spain? When it's breakfast time in Rome, they're having lunch in the Ukraine. And it's supper up in Upper Kathmandu. If the earth is spinning faster while the sun is moving past her, then a day might only be an hour long. And school, when they begin it, would only last a minute before everybody has to run along. If the earth were the planet that was closest to the sun, a year would be much shorter and you'd have a lot of fun. Because by the time you were in first grade, you'd be over 21. And you'd live to be 903 or 4. Time is relative, dependent. You can save it, you can spend it, doing things you like to do or learning how. You can't see it, you can't taste it, but you certainly can waste it, which is really what we're doing here right now. The international date line is an imaginary cleft. Today is on the right side and tomorrow's on the left. So when you cross it, do you then arrive the day before you left? That's how it works. It's quite berserk, you see. So if you were born in China while I'm born in Carolina, well, then you're a day ahead of me, you see. So the way I've got it reckoned, if we're born in the same second, then why should you be a day older than me? But it really is no miracle, this difference in our birth, because the world is spherical. That's why around the earth, there's always different times for London, Moscow, Delhi, and Fort Worth. And that's the way it's always gonna be. So remember, when you're traveling from Nantucket to St. Paul, and you're standing in that airport with those clocks upon the wall, that you might think about this song, my friend, and then you will recall that it was mildly amusing, but then totally confusing, and I'll bet you wish I hadn't sung at all. Thank you. before I move on a little bit, I just, because we're winging it, and I love doing this, and by the way, thank you very much for all this groovy setup and everything. I feel like Bob Seger's illegitimate half-child. I'm the silver-haired band.
We have backing tracks for you if you want them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, we can do Like a Rock as Yakko. Like a rock. By the way, people sometimes, I did a podcast a while back where people seem to get a kick out of hearing cartoon characters sing rock and roll songs.
Yes.
So like, what was it? I had Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron doing a little Pink Floyd. Goes something like this. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. All in all, I'm just another brick in the wall. A little bit odd, I know. You have a couple of drinks, it's actually better. Thank you. We had, let's see. I had Pinky singing Led Zeppelin. I had Pinky singing, I think it's from Led Zeppelin 3, Pinky singing the Immigrant Song. So it goes, I don't even think I need the microphone. It goes, ah! Down the land of the horses now, with the midnight sound of the watch springs now. I know, crazy. That's how bored my life is. But anyway, yeah, thank you for indulging me. I just thought, because we're winging this, and I love the fact that it's just very relaxed, and we've got a lovely crowd in here. Do you guys have any questions about any of the music that I've worked on or that you like, that you may think I've worked on? I wish I knew every song that you'd want to sing, but I clearly don't. So if you have, did anybody have any questions about any of it? Yeah. Andre.
Can you sing Tom Sawyer by Rush?
By Rush? I don't know that. I mean, I'm very familiar with Rush. I know the, I don't know the whole song. I wish that I could sing every song that anybody would want to hear by my characters. That would be cool. I have, I mean, having grown up in Detroit, you know, it's a big rock and roll fan, and I used to open, I was in a band that opened for Bob Seger and Ted Nugent. In those days, Ted Nugent used to be in a loincloth shooting flaming arrows in the speaker cabinets, which was really big. That's showbiz, baby. We did a really fun little song about Yakko, Wakko, and Dot being taken on a trip by Dr. Scratchansniff,
Yes.
in which I got to play Yakko and Dr. Scratchansniff. And I don't know if I can do the whole thing because I'd have to sing with myself. Well, let's give it a try. Part of it goes like this. It goes, wake up! It's late! It's 20 minutes after 8. Everyone wake up, it's time to go. Up and at 'em now, come on, shake a leg. Have some juice and scrambled egg. On the floor and out the door, let's be on our way. Bum 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 bum. Hey, watch out, what's the matter? You almost knocked me off my ladder. No, you didn't. Yes, you did. I almost fell. Don't exaggerate. I'm not. Yeah, right. Are you trying to pick a fight? Well, you're always in my face. Yeah, get out of my space. Hey, get off each other's case because we're trying to get along. And then I think Wakko is, I want pancakes or a waffle. This tastes awful. Is that all we've got? Can't find my clothes and my socks are full of holes and my...
I've got to blow my nose.
Gotta blow my nose and my shoelace has a knot. Then, stop it, that's my toothbrush. No, it's not. Well, it's sitting in my spot. No, it isn't. This is mine and that one's yours. Don't exaggerate, you're right. Yeah, right. And then Dr. Scratchansniff gets them all in the car and he goes, every time we take a trip, it's always just the same with the fighting and the biting and the calling all those names. Then there's pushing and there's scratching and there's jumping on the neck. When we finally get to where we're going, everyone's a wreck. Right? And the whole thing goes through them, and they're fighting in the car. And the reason that song works so well is because everybody can relate to it. Everybody can relate to it. There's one kid who's crying, I don't want to eat, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta go potty. And stop it, shut up, stop it. And then Dr. Scratchansniff is going, you know, you guys are making me crazy. And then they get to the place and everything's fine, and they go and see the circus, and yeah, right. Da 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 da. We're here. Doesn't anybody want to give a cheer? You mean this is where we're all going to spend the day at the circus? Hey guys, look, they got rides. Now you're satisfied? All right, everyone inside, and let's have some fun, okay? So they're doing the thing, And then they get back in the car and they're, oh, did you see those lions and the tigers? Weren't they neat? Are you happy now? We are, thanks a lot. I'm sorry that we fought. From now on we'll get along. That's all right, Dot, I was wrong. Oh, that's nice, I'll run along and let's all get in the car. You can take the seat you want, you're always so gallant. Oh, thank you, Dot, but ladies first, you take the seat you want. Everybody's happy now, we've had a real good day. Well, now it's time to go back home, so let's be on our way. And they're driving within 2 minutes. It's like, stop it, get up, stop it, shut up. And it was really fun. Of course, it's perfectly, it makes perfect sense to anybody who's had a sister or a brother or been a parent. And what was really fun was at the end of that particular piece, a lot of times we have outtakes, B-rolls and things like that. And the B-roll for when Yakko and Dot, or Tress McNeil and myself were going after each other is pretty great. I really wish that I had it to play for you, but it wouldn't, you probably couldn't sign the words. Because it wasn't just like, ow, get out of my way. It was just like, well, you beep, get the beep off my beep, 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 beep. And it was hysterical to, plug in and when you hear this ostensible kids show, why you, for 2 cents I'd kick the bleep out of you. Oh man, it was really good. You know what I'm gonna do also? There are probably some songs that you can, forgive me for referring to my, my notes, but I want to do this because there are a couple of songs. Do you guys remember Hysteria?
Yes.
That had some killer songs in it. And Randy, again, I know I can do this. I figured that's good. Can you guys hear this? Is that what? Cutting out. Irking. All the way from fucking thing doesn't work. Ass, Motor City. So check this out. Tom Ruger says to Randy, he says, Randy, we need a song about the history of war, but of course we have to make it funny. Now, I'm a huge supporter of the military, and I have a lot of friends in the military, and they all have remarkable senses of humor, I think for obvious reasons, because of the incredible work they do. They've got to find some way to get through their lives, and they're my heroes. But Randy wrote a song that I think is pretty damn clever, which is what we're all going to be doing in Denver later this month. But this is a song about the history of war, okay? It goes, several million years ago, a prehistoric man decided that his neighbor had a nicer piece of land. So he invaded, confiscated, that's how countries grew. And with that attack, we now look back at who invaded who. Egypt invaded the Syrians, who invaded the Arab sheiks. Hannibal then invaded the Romans invaded the Greeks. The Saxons invaded the Anglos, the Mongols invaded Japan. Japan invaded Manchuria, and Iraq invaded Iran. Can't we all just get along? Why do we have to fight? Why not just accept you're wrong, admit that I was right? Diplomacy and compromise are how the peace is made. When things get slack, watch your back, because somebody's going to invade. The Germans invaded the French. The Germans invaded the Czechs. The Germans invaded the Netherlands, and they invaded North Africa next. The Germans invaded the Balkans, and they almost invaded in Spain, along with the Soviet regions, the Poles and Norwegians, the Belgians, the Brits, and the Danes. The English invaded the French. The English invaded the Scots. In the 1500s, the Catholic French invaded the Huguenots. The Russians invaded the Afghans, and Custer invaded the Sioux. The British invaded the Spanish Armada. The Spanish invaded Peru. Can't we learn to all be friends? That's the thing to do. Can't we try to see from someone else's point of view? Let's stay calm, remember Mom, and then we got it made. Let's all shake hands, respect our lands, then we're going to invade. The Spartans went after the Greeks, who invaded the city of Troy. The Muslims fought the Hindus, and the Hatfields fought the McCoys. The Israelis fought the Egyptians in a war with the Arab state. Argentina invaded the Falklands, and Iraq invaded Kuwait. Cortez invaded the Aztecs, America San Juan Hill. Pizarro invaded the Incas, and the Dutch invaded Brazil. Napoleon invaded the Austrians, proving artillery works. He invaded the Prussians, also the Russians invaded the Turks. Come on, folks, let's all be friends. Why does it come to this? Give a chance to the olive branch, let's try a hug and kiss. Let's all be one big family like those in-laws you have made. And for 2 weeks every summer, man, you know they're gonna invade. How about that? Isn't that great? I mean, and forgive me if I gush a little bit, because Randy's obviously a dear friend, but when you think about it, that's quite an amazing talent. to sit down and get this edict from your boss to say, hey, let's write a song about war, make it funny, make it clever, make it rhyme. And, you know, many of you guys probably haven't heard that, but it made you laugh, right? That's a pretty amazing skill. And he did that on a number of different songs. We also did, I know we've got some actors here, and he wrote a song that I think you guys will really get a kick out of. That is about all of William Shakespeare's plays. All 37 of them. And this is kind of crazy. Amazing song. It's a song from Hysteria called That Is the Story That's Told by the Bard. And I'll see if I can do this without music. But anyway, it goes, a play by William Shakespeare always stimulates your thought because you spend 2 hours trying to figure out the plot. He wrote famous lines and phrases for his dog like out damn Spot. So who is this guy the critics praise, who's famous for his turn of phrase, wrote 37 different plays and lived in Elizabethan days and made Laurence Olivier's career? Lend me your ear. He lived in Stratford-on-Avon apartment to be, was it to be or?
Not to be.
Yes, I really don't know. It's confusing to me. How do you understand Shakespeare with all of the harks and the hoes and the flowery prose that he writes for men wearing tights? So bring up the lights and let's study the bard. Hamlet's real father is killed by his brother, who now becomes king and then marries his mother. It ends up with everyone killing each other, and that is the story that's told by the bard. Hey nanny nanny na, tra la la, ba la 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 la. King Henry V is a play about war, and so is King John and King Henry IV. Still everybody was screaming for more, so Henry VI continues the gore. King Lear's Shakespeare's tragical ruler who casts out his daughter. The story is sad, cause then he feels bad, then he goes mad, and both of them die. Hey nanny nanny na, tra la la, ba la 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 la. In Romeo, Juliet, everyone cries, and Titus, Andronicus, everyone dies. Don't you just love these Shakespearean guys? You go to the theater, pay all this money, you see all these actors who dress really funny. You say to your date, are you getting this, honey? Because I'm really lost, so explain it to me. Hey, nanny, nanny, na, tra la la la. Macbeth is a guy who was really ambitious, and that's why the king soon sleeps with the fishes. Then he kills others, it's really quite vicious, until in the end he gets stabbed in the duff. No, that's wrong. By Macduff. He wrote comic romances with laughter and dances where everyone prances while taking their chances with love, love, love. Like the comedy of Errors and Pericles too, then Measure for Measure and Taming the Shrew, to Gents of Verona and then Much Ado About Nothing. Then he'd write The Tempest and Twelfth Night, The Merry Wives of Windsor, As You Like It, and Cymbeline, Love's Labour's Lost, A Winter's Tale, and also Midsummer Night's Dream, The Merchant of Venice, A Debt Gets Entangled, and Othello's the fellow whose wife ends up strangled. Oh no, wait a minute. Coriolanus, where soldiers get mangled. Othello's the fellow whose wife gets up strangled, and that is the story that's told by the bard. Hey, nanny, nanny, na, tra la la la. Troilus and Cressida, there was a pair. They were in love, and she had an affair. It's not a great play, so we really don't care. Hey, nanny, nanny, na, tra la la la. King Henry II's a guy with the hump. King Henry Richard III is a guy they would dump. Timon of Athens, he was a chump, because all of his money was lent. Now it's spent, and he can't pay the rent, so he has to go live in a tent. Julius Caesar's about to attack all of his friends for the knife in his back. Then a great play that would come after that is Antony and Cleopatra, la la, tra la la, tra la 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 la. King Henry VIII had 6 different wives. He's faithful to most till the next one arrives. Most of them ended up losing their lives. They're wedded and bedded and then they're beheaded. It's something that later he kind of regretted, but Shakespeare's plays are the place to be for violence and killing and murder, you see. We really can't show it on children's TV, but that is the story. Though it's bloody and gory, yes, that is the story that is told by the bard. All's well that ends well. A little sloppy. It sounds a whole lot better with a big band. Did you guys remember this? Are any of you from California by any chance? Have been out there for a while? Well, when we were out there many, many years ago, 20 years ago, last January, we had a pretty gnarly earthquake. I don't know if you remember that, but it was a pretty darn big one. On the way to work after that, Randy got a phone call, again, from Mr. Ruger. I'm sure Randy, when he knows that Tom's on the phone, kind of holds his breath. And he said, Randy, we need a song about the earthquake, in which 30 people died. Smashed everybody's house and all that stuff. So Randy said, well, I think I can come up with that. He went through a couple of different permutations and tried a couple things out. And one was good, one was not so good, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. So finally, he came up with a song called A Quake, which is, I think, a pretty obvious title.
Yes. A quake.
Right? And it goes like this. On a starlit winter night, when the moon was shining bright, back in January of 1994, at 4:30 in the morning, and without one single warning, something strange began to move the floor. Da-da-da-da-da-da. It was a quake, a quake. The house begins to shake. You're bouncing across the floor and watching all your dishes break. You're sleeping, there's a quake. You're instantly awake. You're leaping out of bed and shouting, oh, for heaven's sake. I ran outside with neighbors, their faces filled with shocks. That's because I'm standing there in nothing but my socks. Oh, a quake, say it's all a big mistake. Just feel the ground go up and down. Won't someone hit the brake? A quake, oh, what a mess they make. The bricks, the walls, the chimney falls, destruction's in its wake. I did not have insurance, so I called them from the scene. And suddenly I'm listening to an answering machine say, too late. Too late, you shouldn't auto wait, 'cause now we're stuck, we wish you luck, your Sims comes a 6.8. Whose fault? Whose fault? The San Andreas' fault, 'cause Mr. Richter can't predict her kicking our asphalt. Seismologists will say tectonic plates are in between an encroaching crustal mantle. Yeah, so what the heck's that mean? It means a quake. A quake? Oh, really? Yeah, no fake. We kinda had that feeling when the ground began to shake. California's great. It's such a lovely state. And every lawn is sitting on a continental plate. Los Angeles had riots and a fire and a flood and then a drought and a recession. And then now we hear this thud of a quake. A quake. How much more can we take? We thought that we had seen it all, but this one takes the cake. The dirt, the rocks, and all those aftershocks. It's just a planet moving granite several city blocks. LA town is falling down while the ground moves around. We won't let it get us down. We're Californians. A quake, it's time to pull up stake. We're all fed up, we can't deny it. Fires, flames, and floods and riot. We just want some peace and quiet. So we're moving to Beirut. Isn't that great? You guys are so great. I really appreciate this because we are winging it, as you can tell. With some of the key changes, I'm kind of going, oh, that's a little high for me this morning, so I'll go down a little bit. Drop down 8 notes. Keith.
Question. In the moment when you had these songs during Animaniacs, how long did they actually give you to learn them? Oh, because they're not simple songs.
No, they're complicated. And my friend Keith is a really excellent musician, and we were talking about this music last night. A lot of these orchestrations, I mean, the words and the lyrics alone, the melody and the lyrics are pretty clever. You know, they're obviously not impossible, but pretty clever. The orchestrations, however, for a big band, you know, for 10 strings and 12 saxophones and 15 brass, very complicated, which makes it all the more enjoyable as an audience. That's a really great question. I don't know how much the lead time was. I know with Yakko's World, I had a week before I recorded it, but of course I didn't have to be off book. I didn't have to memorize it. I had the music in front of me. Generally, I would get the songs about a week in advance, and we'd get a Randy on just a piano with a metronome, with a click track, so we'd be able to get the rhythm and the melody, and then all the orchestrating is done after the fact. So we would just sing the basic song with the piano, and then all the orchestrations were done. Like, we sing them in character, obviously. But we generally got a week. I know that we're sending 20 songs to the Colorado Symphony, completely orchestrated, and they're going to have about 10 days in lead time. But they're professional musicians. I mean, that's all they do. And, you know, this month they might have Yo-Yo Ma come in and do 2 hours worth of Haydn and Mahler and stuff. So they're used to learning very complicated music. But you're right. It's a tall order, I think. And at the risk of sounding a little self-aggrandizing, just in case any of you are interested, and if you're not, I'll tell you because my ego is so huge. I get tweeted, a lot of folks on Twitter will say, Mr. Paulsen, is it true that you did Yakko's World in one take? Yes, it is true. But I have to qualify that because it makes me sound like I'm really talented and super gifted, and I'm a good singer, but LA's full of good singers. I am just lucky that I got to do it. And I wasn't off book. I didn't have to memorize it. So I had the music in front of me, you know. But the genius of Randy, I think, and I wish he were here, and someday we'll do this with the two of us, because we've done what I'm doing here today, we do with a piano and the two of us, and we just tell stories, and it's just really hysterical. So whether it's with a big orchestra or just a piano, it's ridiculously entertaining. Hopefully we can come back and do it together. But the genius of a guy like Randy is that he writes the songs and crafts them so beautifully that they just fit. They really just, I mean, you heard me sing a Quake and the Invasion song and all this stuff that he's, coming up. He did the same thing with the States and the Capitals that Jess Harnell sang, the one that, Cheyenne is in Wyoming, and perhaps you have your home in Salt Lake City out in Utah where the buffalo roam. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And Tress MacNeille sang a song as Dot, about I'm cute, right? I'm cute, yes it's true, I really can't help it, but what can you do when you're cute? It just shows, with these cute darling eyes and this sweet little nose and a pretty pink dress, that's adorable, yes, and when they see my dimples then everyone says she's a beaut, or oh shoot, let's face it, I'm cute, right? And how about this, well you know what, screw it, I've got the message. No, I gotta say, what's really cool is that you guys are out as big handsome guy and as Doctor Who on me going, oh, I'm cute, yes, it's true. I love that about you, my friend, because I'm like, have no problem with that. I think that's great. I'm not afraid to hug a man. Let me see if I can find this, because this is another great example of the way Randy, turns a phrase. Let's see. Forgive me, I don't have these in any particular order because usually I'm under some sort of alcoholic inducement. So it's easier to find them in my own little made-up world here. But anyway, yeah, I'm Cute is one of those that people love, and we're going to be doing that with the Colorado Symphony to the big screen. So Tress will sing that, who is, by the way, I hope you really get a chance someday to meet Tress and Jess. They are the most delightfully gifted, unassuming, talented, and they will stay here all day and talk to you and sign autographs, and they're just delightful. So anyway, again, words and music. I'm cute, yes it's true, I really can't help it, but what can you do when you're cute? It just shows, with these two darling eyes and this sweet little nose and a pretty pink dress, that's adorable, yes, and when they see my dimples then everyone says, oh shoot, isn't she cute, 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 oh baby she's cute, sing it, cute, cute, I'm the one they adore. I'm sweet and I'm cuddly and cute just like Dudley, but more. Are you kidding me? I'm sweet and I'm cuddly and small just like Dudley, but more. It's a chore to be constantly cute and enchanting to boot, with my lips sticking out in this cute little pout in there. It just is no doubt that the guys like to shout, she's a beaut. Let's face it, I'm cute, 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 oh baby she's cute, cute, cute. Being cute's a thing you can't hide. If you look up the word, there's a picture inside TV Guide. Has me on the cover, don't you just love her? I'm simply a goddess, and isn't she modest? I'm the answer to one of the questions in Trivial Pursuit. For who's the most cute, cute, cute? Oh, isn't she cute, cute, cute? I'm cute and I'm sweet and I'm innocent, neat and so trusting. If you want our opinion, this song is becoming disgusting. Yeah, I'm cute. So what? I never am vain. She's becoming a pain in the butt. I'm also real nice. I'm a doll through and through, so big whoop-de-doo. I'm sweet and adoring and also real boring, and that's why we're snoring at you. And then Dot gets all pissed off and says, that's it! You've ruined my cute song. I'm enraged. I have had it! She goes, and then Yakko says, you're awfully cute when you're angry. And she says, you really think so? Ba-ba-doo-ba-da-ba-doo-ba. She's cute, isn't that great? But see, I love that. That's what Randy, that's what's so good. When you look at great songwriters and they do those really interesting turns of phrases where you're walking along, you're going along, and you think, oh, it's a song about cute. She's becoming a pain in the, and we're going to say but, coming a pain in the butt. I'm also real nice. How great is that? It's so clever, and it never stops. Those songs are 20 years old, and it's so lovely that many of you remember them, but even if you don't, they're entertaining. And that, I think, is remarkable, and the mark of a really gifted songwriter. Okay, good. Well, you guys only have 15 more minutes to endure this.
Oh.
No, that's. Let me try to think if there's something that I can do that will be kind of interesting for you. That. Oh, I know. Here's one. This is another great example of Randy doing these great patter songs. Do any of you guys go to Epcot at Disney?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a ride down there. There's a ride. Where they have the International Pavilion. There's a Mexico ride where they have 2 birds, and one of them is me, and my name is, I think it's Panchito or something. I'm a parrot. And it's something about coming down here to drive on the, welcome to the Epcot Theater. I'm going to take you around and squat. I don't know what I say. It's like, keep your wings inside the thing at all times, or otherwise you'll die. And your mommy and daddy pay $100 a day for you to be here. Don't kill yourself. It's too expensive to die. So Randy wrote a song, and I'll tell you, the guy that was supposed to sing it was my dear friend Carlos Alazraqui, who you guys know as Rocco, Rocco's Modern Life. Oh. And he's also the voice of the Taco Bell dog, right? And he's also, if you guys ever saw a great show called Reno 911, he is, Carlos is the short little Hispanic guy with the mustache. And he's a phenomenal actor and a great guy. He just doesn't happen to be a singer. So Randy wrote this song for Disney, and he said, Carlos called me and said, I don't think I'm going to do this, can you do it? So I did, and this is what Randy wrote. Check this out. This is so great. It goes, my name is Panchito Romero Miguel Junipero Francisco Quintero Gonzalez. My mother Maria was born in Bahia, the daughter of Grandpa Morales. His name was Jose, and later one day he married my grandma, you see. Her name was Sofia, and she had Maria, then he and Maria had me. My great-aunt Michelle had a sister Raquel, whose maiden name used to be Alice. She was born in Otu, in Lima, Peru, and married Roberto Gonzalez. He and Raquel, they had Miguel, who grew up in Ecuador, see. Then he moved to Bahia and married Maria, and he and Maria had me. I'm Panchito Romero Miguel Junipero Gonzalez. Why, oh, why? Do I have all these names? They're really too long. I'll try to explain, so follow along. When my father and mother, they married each other, the best man was Cousin Romero. The mother came and went by the name of Father Francisco Quintero. It turns out my mother, her favorite brother, was called Junipero, you see. So my father, my mother, the priest, and the brother were names that were given to me. That's why I'm Panchito Romero Miguel Junipero Francisco Quintero Gonzalez. Descended from family in Mexico, Chile, Brazil, and a couple in Dallas. And when I go out, the people all shout, who can that handsome bird be? Why, Panchito Romero Miguel Junipero Francisco Gonzalez, that's me. And then Donald says, I don't do Donald Duck. Wow, I'm just plain old Donald Duck. And then the Panchito, yes, but you are quite the good-looking parrot. I should introduce you to my sister. And then Donald says, what's her name? My sister's name? Her name is, she's Luisa Juanita Alice Margarita Consuelo Rosita Gonzalez. Our mother Maria was born in Bahia, the daughter of Grandpa Morales. Isn't that great? Does anybody else have any more questions before we... Yes, ma'am.
I have a request. Would you do the I am the very model of a cartoon individual?
You know what? I'll do part of that. That's a Gilbert and Sullivan song, which ran, and I'm not sure who. I think Paul Rugg, who you guys know as Freakazoid, and also remember, we'd have a guy that was Mr. Director on Animaniacs, or Hoya with the puppy children. That's Paul, and he wrote the lyrics to fit that Gilbert and Sullivan. So I don't know the whole thing. Do you know it? Do you want to sing it? No? That's what we're here for, to sing along.
I'll sing along.
Okay, you sing along with me. All right, I don't know the whole thing, but for those of you, are any of you, I know Keith and a lot of you are aware, but do you guys know who Gilbert and Sullivan were? Mm-hmm. Okay. They did a lot of those very clever pattery type songs, and one of which was is that from Pirates of Penzance?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's modern major general, right? I am the very model of a modern major general. Well, in this case, it was, I am the very model of a cartoon individual. And I think I only know one stanza. It goes, I am the very model of a cartoon individual. My animation's comical, unusual, and whimsical, and quite adept at funny gags, comedic theory. I have read from wicked puns and stupid jokes to anvils that drop on your head. Do you know the rest of it?
No.
See, I don't either. But I know that at the end, it goes, You see, in matters comical, unusual, and whimsical, we are the very model of a cartoon individual. And that's pretty incredible stuff, the way that was fit in there. Honestly, had I known that we were going to do this, I probably would have learned cartoon individual. I don't remember it all because that isn't one I get requested a lot. The one I get requested a lot are the ones we've heard, and then there'll be one more that I will do for sure. But those are so great, and I think one of the things I love doing about this is I get so excited talking about these songs because not only are they timeless, but I'm a fan of the show. I was incredibly fortunate to be able to work on it, but man, when you look at these shows 20 years later, they're brilliant. They're amazing, and they don't lose their entertainment value. In fact, you can make the argument that they're better now because kids watch them with their parents, and they're not relegated to, like we were talking about, watching Teletubbies. Yes, Michelle?
How about the Animaniacs theme song?
Oh yeah, you guys know that one?
Yes.
All right, this guy right here is I'm gonna take you on a road with me, man. I'm gonna take you and Ashley, because Ashley makes me look so much better because she's so pretty. And you're a handsome guy, but Anyway, okay, so let's sing the Animaniacs theme song. Ready? It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax, you'll laugh till you collapse. We're Animaniacs. Come join the Warner Brothers and the Warner Sister Dot. Yeah, just for fun we run around the Warner movie lot. They lock us in the tower whenever we get caught. But we break loose and then let loose, and now you know the plot. We're Animaniacs. Dot is cute and Yakko whack. Wacko packs away the snacks while the Clinton plays the sax. We're Animaniacs. Meet Pinky and the Brain who want to rule the universe. Good fellas flock together, slappy wax them with their purse. Button chases Mindy while Rita sings the verse. The writer's flip, we have no script, why bother to rehearse? We're Animaniacs. We have pay or play contracts. We're zany to the max, there's baloney in our slacks. We're Animani, totally insane. Pinky and the Brain. Yeah, Animaniacs. Those are the facts. Great! Good job! That was great! That was fantastic! Thank you, Michelle. That was a great idea. Does anybody else have another question before we... Yeah, sir.
On your podcast, you do Pinky does Led Zeppelin.
Oh, right. I did a little... Come to the land of the ice and snow. And then I'm trying to think what else we could do.
Going to California.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's see. Spent my days with a woman in kind, smoked my stuff and drank all my wine. Made up my mind to make a new start, going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a brain out there with love in his eyes and flowers in his hair. And there was a, oh God, seems like the band in the room got a punch in the nose and it started to flow. I think I might be thinking. Just screaming, I wish I could remember all those things. We had, oh God, what was it? I had Yakko going, it's getting late, have you seen my mates? Might tell me when the boys get here. It's Saturday night and it's Saturday, 7 o'clock and I wanna rock. Wanna get a belly full of beer. My old man is drunker than a barrel full of monkeys, and my old lady, she don't care. My sister looks cute in her braces and boot, and a handful of grease in her hair. So I'm thinking Yakko's doing Elton John. And people get a real kick out of that. They got, what was it? God, Dr. Scratchansniff saying something that everybody got a kick out of. I don't know. I'll have to put together, I could probably do a record of goofy cartoon characters singing, rock and roll songs. Carl, people just love hearing Carl sing because he's an awful singer and he sings songs like, he sang a song about folding and hanging his clothes. That alone made him excited. So, I wrote a song, Jimmy, about my favorite thing. Oh, really? What's that, Carl? Folding and hanging my clothes. Really? Oh yeah, you want to hear it? Do I have a choice? No, it goes like this. It goes, folding and hanging and folding and hanging and hanging and folding and folding and hanging. Folding and hanging and folding and hanging. Just going on and on and on. They come back, 30 seconds later and Carl's going, what does your dad do for a living? So anyway, I just thank you very much, you guys. You are so kind to come in here and wing this with me because the whole idea was to have fun. I hope you did. I think I'm going to be signing autographs if you guys want any of that stuff. I'm going to be at the table right outside. Is that right, Jeff? Eric, right outside there in the main thing? So if you guys have brought anything you'd like to sign, that's fine. I can sign up to 2 things that you bought yourself for free. You don't have to pay nothing to get something signed. If you'd like to, I'm selling pictures of characters and stuff like that. But it's entirely up to you. It's a real pleasure for you to, for me to have you guys here, and I'm just having a blast. Everybody has been so kind. Jeff and his crew have treated me like gold. So thank you very much, and I appreciate you. Yeah, don't start clapping yet, sweetheart. We're not done. So she goes, oh, it's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, please finish. I trust you, nothing I'm saying is gonna be that important. If you gotta go pee, pee. It's not there, right? No, it's been really a joy, so thank you very much. I know this wasn't that much of a sing-along, but for the fact that none of us knew what the hell was gonna happen, I thought we did pretty well. But anyway, let me leave you with this, and you can sing along with this one. This always kills them. And it goes something like this. Oh, let me tell you very quickly, those of you who didn't know it, there's a great story about this song. I told this yesterday, but it bears repeating another time. Forgive me, I know I'm a walking Randy Rogel fan club, but he's not only such a desperately lovely person, he's, of course, incredibly gifted. And the exemplification of an overachiever. Randy graduated from West Point, then he graduated from Boston College with another degree, then he went to work for Procter & Gamble, made a lot of money, and said, no, I really like writing music, and I like writing scripts, and I'm a singer, and I'm a dancer. So he moves from Seattle to Hollywood. Bangs on the door for a couple years, finally gets a job from Alan Burnett on Batman, on the animated series. Writes a couple of scripts for Batman, one of which wins him an Emmy. He's on his way. Then he hears about Animaniacs, because remember, in the back of his mind, he's a song and dance man. So he's saying, oh, I gotta get on that show. I gotta get on Animaniacs. No, you're a drama guy. You just got an Emmy for Batman. What the hell's the matter with you? Batman's huge. You're gonna be on this show for years, man. I know. I'll keep writing Batman, but I can multitask. I can do something else. Bangs on the door. Finally, Tom Ruegger, the genius behind, genius behind Animaniacs, lets him in the door. In his office, there's a spinet piano. So Tom says, all right, what do you got? This is Randy's audition piece. It goes like this. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still, Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam, Norway, and Sweden, and Iceland, and Finland, and Germany, now in peace, Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey, and Greece, Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Portugal, France, and Denmark, and Spain. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan. Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan. Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan. Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana. But wait, there's more. Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Nigeria, Chad, and Liberia, Egypt, Benin, Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, and Mali, Sierra Leone, and Algeria, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea, Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Mayo, and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, then Pennsylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan. Thank you very much, you guys. Have a